How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of I Am Zain Film Class. I am your host, Zain. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the role of sound in storytelling. Sound is one of the most powerful tools in a filmmaker's arsenal. It can build suspense, invoke emotion, and immerse the audience in ways that visual alone can't. Let's start with our first tip: silence. Sometimes saying nothing is the best way to say everything. Silence can create tension, anticipation, or even peace. Have you ever noticed in a scene right before the actors walk into the room and you know something is about to happen and then the sound just drops? That right there is the suspense. You drop the music, the audience is now anticipating what's gonna happen next. Think about it. When was the last time a movie silence made you hold your breath? I know it was The Quiet Place. I remember seeing the first one and thinking, I don't remember really breathing. That's how quiet it was in the theaters. Drop a comment below and tell me which movie struck you with silence. Tip number 2, subtle background sounds. These can give the scene a bit of realism and depth. Imagine a quiet cafe without any of those faint conversations or clicking of dishes or just footsteps. It just feels a little bit off, like there should be a sound of busyness happening in the environment. Here's an example. Check out this peaceful street scene with the layers of sound, birds chirping, the wind, people chattering. Let's listen to this scene minus the audio. It's a bit weird, right? But it's also feels suspenseful, like something just happened. Try this on your next project and add a layer of subtle sounds. See if it changes the feel of your scene. You'll be surprised on the difference. And honestly, just a pro tip, watch your film and look at things that should make a sound and amplify it. Every time the camera is showing that scene where the sound should be coming from, make the sound louder. Just think of it in a Dolby theater, for example, where you're hearing it left and right. Maybe you'll have like a train passing by, and in post-production, you have the train just panning left to right, and then having cars do the same thing. Tip number 3, record on location when possible. Sure, you can always add the sounds later, but nothing beats the real authentic atmosphere of capturing live audio. If you've ever done on location recordings, what's your favorite place to capture natural sound? Let me know in the comments below. I personally always make sure to get room tone. Even if I can add it in post, it's always good practice to capture room tone when you're doing a scene with 2 people in the room. Just get like a minute maximum. That way in post, if something happens or there's a dip, I used to try to play around where I would use the tail end of the audio from the dialogue and then try to duplicate it multiple times. I was giving myself extra work and it just sounded unorganic. So just record it for a full minute and then add that in post if necessary. But it's always good to capture room tone in that environment at that particular time. And finally, tip number 4, experiment with Foley. Foley lets you create custom sounds that amplify your story. Think of exaggerated footsteps in a tense chase or creaking doors in a horror scene. It's always good to play around with certain sounds, like if there's a fighting sequence and the guy grabs his arm and then he breaks it. What you can do in Foley, you take a bunch of celery sticks and you break it, and that's the sound that you would get to emulate breaking bone. If you want to emulate someone getting punched in the face, for example, you take some raw meat and you start punching it and put the shotgun mic close to the mic, not too close, and make sure you fine tune the audio. And that's the sound that you will hear when punching somebody, or maybe it's like a slap, but usually that's the sound you can use in any fight movies where people are getting punched in the face. I learned some of those techniques from the people who work on the game Mortal Kombat. They use a lot of fruits, vegetables, and all types of sounds to get that gushing sound effect. And here's a challenge for you. Try creating your own Foley sound for a short scene and share your experience with your fellow peers and show them the original and then actually show them your sound first and then show them the original and ask them if they hear a difference. And there you have it, all 4 ways to really level up your sound for your storytelling. Sound isn't just an afterthought, it's the heartbeat of every great film. Now, before we go, it's time for this week's creator shout out. This week, I want to shout out a fellow photographer that I've worked with. His name is Spencer, and I just love his film work. And when he goes to events and captures the moment, he really knows how to be there when the moment is right. And I'm granted, it's subjective when the moment is right, but he knows how to find those moments. And I would like for y'all to just check him out on Instagram. I'll leave it in the description below. You can follow him at Spence Cheron on Instagram. Check out his work, it's really amazing. You'll definitely be inspired. I'm personally inspired. And I also want to share the fact that it's okay to be inspired by others. Let's break the stereotypes of photographers not supporting other photographers. Let's support each other because this is a community. I see everyone as different cooks in their craft. So whether you enjoy pizza, Thai food, that's all up to you. It's a matter of preference. But please show some love to your fellow peers. It's really tough out there, and it'll be great to know that we have people that we can support and share each other's work. Make sure you check them out and support their work. And if you found today's episode helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification button. And until next time, I'll see you next week.